Coal, a simple word, but it represents a substance that has shaped human civilization for centuries. From the warmth of ancient Roman baths to the heart of the Industrial Revolution, coal's energy has fueled our world. Today, coal powers our modern lives. It generates electricity for homes and industries worldwide, but its legacy is complex. While coal has driven progress, it has also come at a cost. Societies have relied on coal's energy for centuries. This is the story of coal. Our journey begins millions of years ago. Deep within the earth, under immense pressure and heat, ancient plant matter became coal. Early humans discovered this black rock and found it burned. The first uses were simple: warmth, light, and cooking. As civilizations advanced, so did our uses for coal. From China to Europe, coal's influence spread. It fueled industry, powered engines, and illuminated cities. Coal's energy drove global industrialization. But our reliance on coal has come at a cost. Climate change, air pollution, and landscape degradation are part of coal's complex legacy. Our story begins with the quiet crackle of a fire. Imagine a time before written history, thousands of years ago. Neolithic people discovered a black rock that ignited when exposed to flame. This was coal, and its discovery marked a turning point in human history. The first uses of coal were simple but profound. It provided warmth, cooking, and light. These early uses of coal were revolutionary. They represented the earliest steps in humanity's mastery of fire and energy. The discovery of coal's power ignited a spark that would continue to burn for millennia, leading to ever more innovative applications of this remarkable fuel. As civilizations rose and fell, the knowledge of coal persisted. In ancient Greece, philosophers observed this unusual stone. Theophrastus, a student of Aristotle, provided one of the earliest written accounts of coal. He described it as earthy but kindled and burnt like charcoal. While the Greeks recognized coal's potential, it was the Romans who put it to widespread use. In Roman-occupied Britain, coal emerged as a valuable alternative to wood. Coal fueled the hypocausts, ingenious underfloor heating systems. It fired the kilns that produced pottery and bricks, and it found its way into the workshops of blacksmiths. Coal's intense heat forged tools and weapons. Despite its growing use, coal remained a secondary fuel source for much of ancient history. Wood, abundant and readily available, remained the primary source of heat and energy. The smoky nature of coal made it less desirable than wood for many applications. Its smell was often associated with industry and labor. Coal mining in ancient times was labor-intensive and dangerous. Accessing coal deposits involved digging shallow pits or collecting pieces from exposed outcrops. Thus, coal remained a fuel of necessity rather than choice. It was used where wood was scarce or where its properties were essential. However, the seeds of its future dominance were sown during these early centuries. Societies slowly began to recognize the immense energy potential within this black rock. As Europe emerged from the early Middle Ages, a new era of growth and urbanization began. Towns and cities expanded, demanding more fuel for heating, cooking, and industry. Wood became increasingly scarce, particularly in densely populated areas. In England, people turned to a readily available alternative: coal. Sea coal, collected from beaches, offered a practical solution to the growing fuel crisis. The use of sea coal spread from coastal towns inland. By the 13th century, sea coal was reaching London. It was used for heating homes, firing kilns, and in industries like blacksmithing and brewing. However, the transition to coal was not without its challenges. The smoky nature of coal fires led to significant air pollution in cities. While coal was gaining a foothold in Europe, it was already a well-established fuel source in China. The rise of the Ming dynasty in the 14th century increased the demand for coal. The Ming dynasty saw a surge in coal production, particularly in the northern provinces. Coal fueled the furnaces of iron foundries, producing weapons and armor. It fired the kilns of porcelain makers, creating exquisite ceramics. The Chinese also pioneered the use of coal in brickmaking. The durable bricks produced in coal-fired kilns were essential for constructing the Great Wall. The Ming government recognized the importance of coal as a strategic resource. Imperial officials oversaw mining operations, ensuring a steady supply of coal. This centralized control helped to prevent shortages and ensure the stability of the coal industry. The 16th and 17th centuries witnessed significant change in Europe. Exploration, colonization, and scientific inquiry led to a renewed interest in coal. In England, the demand for fuel outstripped the supply of wood. The iron industry faced a particularly acute crisis. This led to a crucial innovation, the use of coke, a fuel derived from coal, in iron production. Coke burned hotter and more consistently than charcoal, allowing for larger furnaces. This breakthrough revolutionized the iron industry. The growing reliance on coal stimulated the development of new mining techniques. It fueled the growth of cities and industries. And it sowed the seeds of an industrial revolution that would reshape the world. The Industrial Revolution was inextricably linked to the rise of coal. This era witnessed the transformation of societies from agrarian economies to industrial powerhouses. At the heart of this revolution was coal. The invention of the steam engine by James Watt marked a pivotal moment. Watt's steam engine provided a reliable and powerful source of energy. Factories could now operate machinery on a scale never before imagined. Coal proved to be the ideal fuel for these steam engines. The insatiable appetite of steam-powered factories drove a surge in coal demand. Coal became the lifeblood of the Industrial Revolution. The world was shrinking, connected by a network of iron rails and powered by the energy of coal. The insatiable demand for coal during the Industrial Revolution led to a dramatic transformation of the coal mining industry. Mining became a large-scale, technologically sophisticated enterprise. This period saw the rise of deep shaft mining. Steam power played a crucial role in this transformation. Steam-powered pumps removed water from deep mine shafts. Steam-powered winding engines lifted coal to the surface. The very fuel that powered the Industrial Revolution was used to extract more of itself. This period also saw the development of new mining techniques. However, coal mining remained an incredibly dangerous profession. Miners faced constant threats of cave-ins, floods, and explosions. The Industrial Revolution brought about unprecedented economic growth and technological advancement, but it also came at a significant cost. The reliance on coal had profound social and environmental consequences. The drive for profit often overshadowed concerns for worker safety and environmental protection. The rapid expansion of coal mining created a demand for labor that often outstripped the available supply. This led to the exploitation of vulnerable populations, including women and children. The burning of coal released massive amounts of pollutants into the atmosphere. These pollutants choked the air in industrial cities. The environmental consequences of coal use were becoming increasingly apparent. Coal mining itself scarred the landscape. The true cost of coal-fueled industrialization was becoming increasingly evident. The rise of coal-powered electricity. The late 19th century saw the invention and widespread adoption of electricity. Coal became the fuel that illuminated the world and powered progress. In 1882, Thomas Edison built the first commercial coal-fired power plant in New York City. Edison's Pearl Street station provided electricity to Lower Manhattan, marking a new era in energy. Coal was abundant, inexpensive, and could be transported to centralized power plants. The early 20th century saw the rapid expansion of coal-fired power plants. The The widespread availability of electricity, made possible by coal-fired power plants, ushered in a period of profound social and technological change. Electricity transformed homes, businesses, and industries, revolutionizing the way people lived, worked, and interacted with the world around them. The electrification of society, fueled by coal, became synonymous with progress and modernity. One of the most immediate and transformative impacts of electricity was the advent of electric lighting. Homes and businesses, once lit by dim and flickering gas lamps or candles, were now bathed in the steady glow of electric lights. This not only extended the day, allowing for longer working hours and increased productivity, but also improved safety and sanitation, making cities safer and more livable. Electricity also powered a new generation of labor-saving appliances that transformed domestic life. Electric irons, washing machines, and refrigerators reduced the time and effort required for household chores, freeing up time for other pursuits and improving the quality of life, particularly for women who often bore the brunt of domestic labor. The electrification of homes, fueled by coal, brought about a significant shift in social norms and expectations. The impact of electricity extended far beyond the home. Factories, now powered by electricity, could operate more efficiently and produce goods at an unprecedented scale. Electric motors replaced steam engines in many applications, offering greater precision and control. The electrification of industry, fueled by coal, led to increased productivity, lower costs, and a wider availability of consumer goods. Section 3. The fuel of war and peace. Coal's role in the 20th century. Coal was crucial in the 20th century, powering industries and wars. During wars, coal demand surged for factories and transport. Coal-powered factories produced weapons, and coal-fueled transport moved supplies. Control of coal-rich regions was strategic in World War I. Allied blockades of coal supplies crippled Germany. Access to coal was essential for national security and economic survival. The interwar period saw continued reliance on coal, but oil and natural gas began to challenge coal's dominance. Oil powered automobiles and airplanes, while natural gas was cleaner for heating and industry. Coal was crucial in the Allied victory in World War II. US coal-powered factories produced vast war materials, from tanks and airplanes to ships and ammunition. Coal-fueled industrial output was decisive in the Allied victory. Early environmental impacts of coal. Coal fueled industrial growth and illuminated cities, but its environmental consequences grew evident. Air pollution from coal burning created a noxious haze. This smog led to respiratory problems and increased mortality rates. Sulfur dioxide from coal formed acid rain, damaging ecosystems and structures. Coal mining scarred landscapes and contaminated water sources. A silent spring. The emergence of environmental awareness. The mid-20th century saw growing awareness of human action's impact on the planet. Rachel Carson's Silent Spring, published in 1962, highlighted the dangers of pesticide use. It ignited the environmental movement, emphasizing that progress shouldn't harm nature. The movement gained momentum, addressing pollution, deforestation, and biodiversity loss. Citizens, scientists, and activists demanded accountability from governments and industries. This led to landmark environmental legislation aimed at curbing pollution and promoting sustainability.
While coal pollution's immediate impacts were clear, a more insidious threat was climate change.
Burning coal releases carbon dioxide, trapping heat and altering Earth's climate.
This warming leads to rising sea levels, extreme weather, and agricultural shifts.
Scientific consensus on climate change solidified in the late 20th century.
The IPCC's reports concluded human activities were warming the planet.
Coal emerged as a primary target for climate action.
Coal burning accounted for significant global greenhouse gas emissions. Reducing coal consumption became key for a sustainable energy future.
As the 21st century dawned, a dichotomy emerged in the narrative of coal. The world was awakening to the urgent need for cleaner energy sources. Yet, coal remained significant, especially in rapidly developing nations. The global hunger for energy continued to drive demand for coal. China became the world's largest consumer of coal. India also saw a significant increase in coal consumption. The reliance on coal highlighted the complex interplay of economic development and environmental sustainability. The rise of renewables a turning tide for coal. The first 2 decades of the 21st century saw a surge in renewable energy technologies, offering hope for a cleaner future. Solar and wind power costs plummeted, driven by technological advancements and supportive policies. Renewable energy became financially competitive. Developed countries adopted ambitious renewable energy targets. Germany's Energiewende aimed to reduce reliance on fossil fuels. The UK transitioned to cleaner energy, with renewables surpassing coal. The rise of renewables presented challenges and opportunities for coal. Renewable energy's competitiveness threatened coal, especially in favourable regions. A growing movement for divestment from fossil fuels emerged. Institutional investors began divesting from fossil fuel companies. This movement signalled a shift in investor sentiment away from fossil fuels. Section 3, Bridging the Gap, Clean Coal, Carbon Capture and a Just Transition. The transition to a cleaner energy future presented complex social and economic challenges for coal-dependent regions. Policymakers and industry leaders explored strategies for a just transition to support affected workers and communities.
Investing in economic diversification and job creation provided workers with opportunities to transition to new industries. This included retraining programs for jobs in renewable energy and other growing sectors.
Developing clean coal technologies aimed to reduce the environmental impact of coal. Carbon capture and storage, CCS, aimed to capture carbon dioxide emissions and store them underground. A just transition also addressed the legacy of environmental damage and health problems from coal mining. This included cleaning up abandoned mine sites and providing healthcare for affected communities. The enduring legacy of black gold. Coal's story is about energy, industry, and human ingenuity. From ancient flames to modern power grids, coal has been our companion.
The legacy of coal is etched into our civilization. It's in the towering cities and industries. But coal's story is also one of caution. Climate change and pollution remind us of our impact.
Section 2, Coal at a Crossroads. Today, coal stands at a crossroads. The world is undergoing an energy transformation driven by the urgent need to address climate change. The cost of solar and wind power is plummeting, making them competitive with fossil fuels, including coal.
The transition away from coal presents complex challenges. Coal-dependent regions face economic hardship. They need to diversify their economies and create new pathways for workers.
Technological innovation continues to shape the coal narrative. Carbon capture and storage, or CCS, holds potential to mitigate coal's impact on climate change. It offers a possible pathway for coal in a carbon-constrained world.
The story of coal is far from over. It continues to be written in our decisions, technologies, and policies. Lessons from coal's history can guide us towards a sustainable future.